Thank you, Mataji. So we'll get started with the prayers.
Yes, Mataji, you can go ahead now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavitavanacharinaha Shranvan Ramakatanadam Konayate Paramgatim Vedavedye Paripumse Jate Dasharatatmaje Veda Pratecha Prachetasas Asit Sakshat Ramayana Atmanam Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kabishamakshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Bhaktimatam Varishtam Vadatmajam Vanarayudamukyam Sri Ramadutam Shirasan Namami Anjaneya Madipatanalanam Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vikraham Parijata Tarumila Vasanam Bhamayami Avamanananda Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakhanjalim Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochalam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Jayatrashrata Santrasa Dvantva Vidvam Satyayaha Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhaskaraha Shri Rama Rama Ramete Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Shri Rama Nama Varanane Hare Krishna. So, also want to offer prayers to our Guru Parampara. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripadavaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. And my humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. Vanchakal Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Hare Krishna. So a quick summary of what we have seen so far. We are currently going through the Ayodhya Kand of the Valmiki Ramayana. We successfully finished Balakand in about 6 sessions, and then we started Ayodhya Kand. And currently we have finished 2 sessions in Ayodhya Kand, and this is the 3rd session. So what is the essence of Ayodhya Kanda? The essence of the Ayodhya Kanda is the description of the Lord's glorious qualities. The Lord's glorious qualities were already mentioned in the Balakanda. We saw 16 beautiful qualities of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord exhibits in his character these beautiful qualities in Ayodhya Kanda. In the Balakanda, the essence was that we could understand that Lord Ramchandra, Shriyapati, is the Supreme Lord. That was very evident through the different sections of the Balakand. Through Ayodhya Kand, you will understand the glorious qualities of the Lord, how the Lord exhibits these wonderful qualities in different instances throughout the Ayodhya Kanda. So we started the Ayodhya Kand with a very beautiful verse glorifying Shatrughna. Gachata matula kulam bharatena tatanagha Shatrugno nitya Shatrugno nita Preethi puraskrataha. Shatrughna was such a nice devotee. He was Dasanudas. He was the servant of the devotees. He was not interested in direct service of the Lord. Rather, he preferred to be the servant of the servant. And that is what Lord Ramchandra also likes. So he went along with Bharata. He was taken along with Bharata to Bharat's uncle's place, to Kekir Desh, to the house of Yudhajit. And there Shatrughna was taken very good care of. So Bharat continued to stay along with Shatrughna for many, many days, many years. And during that time, Lord Ramachandra, he was in Ayodhya. He was the prince, and he exhibited very beautiful qualities. Just like how musk is a fragrance that comes forth from the deer itself. It doesn't have to seek outside help to get that fragrance, a musk deer. It inherently has that fragrance, right? Like that, Lord Ramachandra was emanating these different qualities which was there within him. He was always peaceful, he spoke softly, he was eloquent in speech, he had firm devotion, he knew science, economics, arts, he knew how to tame horses, and so on. So like this, time went by. It was a few more, about 12 more years. And this long-lived Dasharath, he had a thought in his mind. When will Ram become the king? Will I get the happiness of seeing him become the king in front of my eyes? So he was thinking like that, and he decides to discuss with his ministers, and he asks the neighboring kings to actually come so that he can talk to them and give this proposal that he wanted this Lakshmivan Lakshmanagraja to actually become the next king. So he wanted to crown him as the prince. Who is this Lakshmivan Lakshmanagraja? It's obviously Lord Ramachandra. So when this proposal was made by Dasharath, the ministers and the citizens, they were so happy. They were like peacocks who saw the dark, rainy cloud, and the entire assembly reverberated because they were so happy. They were saying, yes, 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 this is what we want. And Dasharath was very surprised. Dasharath says, oh, it appears that you just wanted me to step down and you all want to see Ramachandra on the throne. It appears that you've been waiting for this moment. And then the citizens say, yes, we have been waiting for this moment for a very long time. It is our dream because Lord Ramachandra is so qualified. He's so qualified in various ways. Of course, he's Mahabahu. He is so valorous. He'll be able to take care of us. Not only that, he's Raghuvira. He descends in your own dynasty. He's got great Manobalam. He's Mahabalam who has Manobalam. And it is our desire for so many years that we want such an able king. Of course, you were a great king, but then now you have become aged. So it's high time that your son takes over. So they were thinking like this, and they explained to Dasharath that they wanted to see the coronation as soon as possible. The month of Chaitra was chosen. That was the month when this discussion was happening. So it was the month of Chaitra, and Dasharath decided, oh, this Chaitra Mass is very, very auspicious. So we can have the coronation as soon as possible. So Dasharath, he then calls Sumantra and he asks Rama should be brought to the assembly as soon as possible. And then Ram goes in a chariot led by Sumantra. And finally, Dasharath tells him that with all your good qualities, you've attracted the hearts of people. So tomorrow is the day of Pushyami, Pushya Nakshatra, and you will be crowned as the prince tomorrow. And he advises him, he tells him, keep away from the seven vices of a king. What are the seven vices? It is desiring others' wives, gambling, hunting beyond rules, drinking unnecessarily, giving excessive punishments, using wrong words, using government money, and so on. So he tells, keep away from those vices. And Ramachandra is very, very happy. He's ready to go and give the news to his mother. But then that day night, again, Dasharath, he calls for Ram. So Ram goes and Dasharath says that I see a lot of inauspicious omens and I really want to perform your crowning ceremony as soon as possible. So ensure that right away you and Sita Devi, you take vows, you sleep on kusha grass and get ready for tomorrow. So Ramachandra, he goes and he gets the blessings of his mother. And then he also tells Lakshman, if at all I have to rule the kingdom, you should also rule with me together. And we both will take care of the kingdom very nicely. And Vasishta also gives information to Lord Ram and Sita that they should begin their fast and everything was getting ready. So they go to the temple in their palace, which is non-different from the temple of Lord Ranganath, because Ranganath was the worshipable deity of the Ikshvaku Vamsha, which was later handed over to Vibhishan. And in the process, today, Ranganath stays in south of India. So Ramachandra, he goes to the temple and he takes vows and he worships the deities. The next day morning, he woke up 3 hours before dawn and he told everybody to get everything decorated and everything was getting ready in the city of Ayodhya. The city was so beautifully decorated and all the people were coming out in the courtyards and they were talking about the great ceremony that was going to happen. The news spread far and wide, and people from the nearby villages also started gathering at the time of sunrise. However, on the same previous day night, the camera shifts to what was happening in Kaikeyi's palace. Kaikeyi, who was one of the queens of Dasharath Maharaj, yeah, it so happened that she had a relative who was also serving her. That relative, who was also like a Dasi, was a servant. Her name was Mantara, and she was a hunchback woman, slightly older. So, this hunchback woman, when she saw from the balcony that all the roads were getting ready, it was all looking very nice. Kausalya was going out and she was doing dhan and all that. This mantra was very curious. So, she asked another servant maid, "What's happening?" So, at that time, this other servant maid was dressed very nicely. She says, "Oh, you don't know the news? Ram is going to be crowned as the prince." So at that time, Manthara came running inside and she called out to Kaikeyi. She said, "Uttishta Mude, hey fool, Muda, get up. Himseshe, why are you sleeping? There is a big fear that is going to inundate us. Why are you just, acting like as if nothing is happening? It is Ramachandra who's going to be coronated very soon tomorrow. Instead of being, worried about it, you're happily sleeping." But then Kaikeyi, she was very initially, she was thinking, "Oh, that's a good news, Mantara. So why are you, finding a fault in that? It's a good thing. Let Ramachandra be coronated." But then Mantara successfully brainwashes Kaikeyi. She tells that if Ram becomes king, his son will become the next king, and Bharata's name will be removed from the royal clan. And your husband is just doing you harm. Namesake, you're his favorite wife, but it appears that Kausalya is the one who's going to get all the benefit. You will become the servant of Kausalya, and your daughter-in-law will become the servant of Sita and others. So this is what is going to happen to you. So at that time, though Kaikeyi, initially she was very happy. She gives Mantra a necklace. Eventually, Kaikeyi's mind is brainwashed by the evil words of Mantra. And at the end of the conversation, Kaikeyi's mind is completely poisoned. And Kaikeyi, being brainwashed, she goes to the Kopa Graham, like we mentioned last time. And she is very nicely, the screenplay, everything is decided by Mantara. And Mantara tells her, "Go to the Kopa Graham, take out all your jewels, lie on the floor. And then when Dasharath is missing you and he comes to see you, that time he will tell you, 'Oh, Kaki, what should I do for you? Should I bring all the jewels? Should I bring this? Should I bring that?' He will offer you many things. Reject everything. And finally, he will tell you, 'I will do anything for you, ask for boons.'" So when he tells you, ask for boons, immediately you remind him about the two boons that he had promised when you saved his life. What are the two boons? By one boon, Lord Ramachandra should go to the forest wearing deer skin, and Bharata, with the same arrangements that are done for the next day's coronation ceremony, he should be coronated as the prince. So these are the two boons that she was asked to ask, and Kaikeyi, following the advice of Mantara, exactly asks these two boons. Dasharath, he laments and he thinks, "Oh, if you want, you can crown Bharata, but don't ask me to be separated from my dear son Rama. He should not be going to the forest. How can Rama survive in the forest? He's accustomed to comforts. He's a prince. He's not accustomed to difficulties." So this argument went on and on, and the entire night went by. And the next day morning, the bards they came to wake up, but Dasharath prevented them. And then finally, Sumantra he tried, and Sumantra could understand that there was something wrong. But then Kaikeyi, she tells, "Go and bring Rama immediately." So Sumantra hurries to the palace of Lord Ram, and then he brings Ramachandra. While Ramachandra is coming outside, all the people were so excited to get a glimpse of Lord Rama. They were all looking out, oh, who was the one who's going to catch the glimpse of Rama? And they were so excited. And eventually, Rama acknowledges all their blessings and their best wishes. and he goes into the chambers where his father and Kaikeyi were present. So when he goes inside, he sees that his father's face is withered, and then he tells Mother Kaikeyi, "Oh, I hope I didn't offend my father in any way. I hope there's no bodily mental distress or any discomfort for him, and I hope Bharata and Shatrughna are doing well. So tell me, what is it that is troubling my father?" And then that is when Kaikeyi said, "O Rama, the king is not angry. There is nothing of distress to him, but he has something in his mind which he's not telling because he's a little fearful to tell you. He doesn't want to tell that to you because he gave me a promise long time back. And according to that promise, he said that he would fulfill my two boons. And now I have asked for that. So I think we're going to continue from here today. So, what are the two boons she's going to tell? Kaikeyi is going to tell Rama about what are the boons that Dashrath Maharaj gave her. So, we are starting today's session. Kaikeyi says, "Long, long ago, this king, he honored me and he gave a boon. And today, like a common man, he's just repenting and he's not able to keep up his promise. This king, he gave a boon that I can tell you, but at the same time, it should not cause any unfavorableness in your heart about me. So I will tell you. And if you're okay with it, if you will abide by the rules or abide by the book, then I can reveal this to you." So Ramachandra was wondering why Mother Kaikeyi is talking like this. If I will tell you, if there is no cause of unfavorableness to you, if you will not, get angry, things like that. She was putting all these conditions. So that time Ramachandra says, "See, if father tells me to jump into fire or drink poison, I will immediately do it." And Rama doesn't speak two words. That means if he's not like he will say one thing and do one thing, or he'll give his word and he'll go back on it. In Telugu, they say "Okka mata okka bana" for Rama. So which means Ram speaks only one. He doesn't speak another word. Meaning not that he has only one word in his mouth. It just means that he doesn't go back on his word. And that is when Kaikeyi tells, "O Rama, during a battle, there was a great war between the demigods and the demons long time ago. That time, I protected your father. Your father was pierced by so many arrows, and I took him out of the battlefield and I protected him during that war. At that time, he gave me two wounds. So, you have to, Rama, abide by your father's command. You should, as per his assurance, he has given this boon." So Kaikeyi is indirectly telling this is also your father's desire. It is your father's word, which means you have to accept it. So she is very scared where Rama won't accept it and he will revolt and he will create some unfavorable situation. So she says, "Abide by your father's command. You just have to listen to his command." And what is the command? You have to stay in the forest for 14 years. And Bharata should be enthroned with the full collection of all the materials that has already been arranged for your sake for this coronation. So many ingredients were gathered so that Ramchandra can be crowned. But with the same ingredients, in the same muhurta, during the same day, instead of Rama, Bharata should be crowned. And he says, "Rama, you have to go to the forest for 14 years. And she says, "You have to leave this coronation function and go and live in the forest of Dandakaranya for 14 years. You should wear braided hair and cover yourself with deer skin and let Bharat become the king. He should be ruling this earth. He will reside in Ayodhya. He will have all the precious things together. He will have all the palatial comforts with all the horses, chariots, and elephants. So, this will be Bharata's rule, and you have to go to the forest. And because these two boons are very difficult to be told to you, that is the reason this Dasharath, this King Dasharath, he's overwhelmed and he's got so much sympathy towards you. That is the reason he's not even able to open his eyes and look at your face. He's just afflicted with grief. He's just looking down at earth. as if earth is responsible for whatever has happened. So he's just downcast, his face is downcast, he's not able to speak just because he has sympathy for you and he's not able to talk to you about this. And when these words were spoken by Kaikeyi, immediately Ram, without another reaction, without any difference in the change of face, he immediately said, yes, I will surely go. I will surely go to the forest wearing bark, wearing braided hair, and don't worry, you will not be depressed. You will definitely be happy. I will definitely do as per your command. But however, my heart is burning and I'm feeling very sorrowful. Not because I have to go to the forest. Father could have told me directly about Bharata's coronation. I would have felt so happy. Why our father couldn't tell me on the face that Bharata is going to be coronated? I would have been so happy if my father told me, I'm going to crown your brother Bharat. That would have given me so much happiness. But instead, he's hesitating and he's looking very sorrowful with his eyes downcast. And what to talk about you telling me to go to the forest? If I had known that Bharata had to be coronated, immediately I will offer everything to Bharata. Whatever I have, whatever I possess, everything I would have given to Bharata if I had known that this was my father's desire. So Kaikeyi tells, you please console my father. Don't worry, I'm not going to reject your plea. I will definitely go to the forest. Why is he unnecessarily crying and wasting his tears? He could have told it very happily, and I would have accepted if he told me directly. He didn't have to hesitate, and you didn't have to tell me like this. So and Ramachandra, after saying this, he's very happy actually. Ramachandra is normal. He's not upset that he's been asked to go to the forest. So Rama, he says at this point in time, actually, let all the messengers leave now itself with the horses so that they can go and bring Bharat from KK Desh, and I will personally coronate Bharat. I am here. I will do this service. I will personally coronate him. And then once he's nicely sitting on the Singhasan and he's become the emperor of Ayodhya, I will leave for the forest for 14 years without asking a question or without analyzing the orders of our father. So Ramachandra, he makes this good offer that I will personally crown. I will tell, this is the throne, this is for you. Bharata, you sit here. After congratulating him, I will leave to the forest. But you think Kaikeyi will think it's okay? She said no. She said no. I will send word for Bharata. Sending word for Bharat, bringing him here, all that I will take care. But you should leave immediately. So she says, you leave immediately, no business of staying back and coronating Bharat and looking, congratulating him and then going to the forest. Right now, you leave to the forest. That is how Kaikeyi speaks. The reason is because she knows very well that if Ram stays back and if he says to Bharat, with my own hands I will coronate you, Bharat will be the first one to reject that offer. And he will indeed coronate Ram. So Kaikeyi knew this very well, and she said, oh Ram, your father will not take bath. He will not eat a morsel if you don't leave to the forest immediately. And Dasharath, when he heard this, he started crying out and wailing, and he was telling, oh my God, alas, alas, what a pity. What kind of words are coming out of your mouth, Kaikeyi? And he swooned and he fell down. So Ram, very lovingly, he lifts up his father and he said, okay, I will leave immediately. And he was treated like a horse beaten with a whip. You know, when you have to make a horse go, you start beating the horse with a whip, saying, go, go, go. Like that, Kaikeyi was literally whipping Ram, not like physically whipping, but in her words, she was whipping Ram to leave immediately. Then Ramachandra says, yes, yes, I am leaving. Right now, I will leave. Don't worry, I'm not going to stay back. But at the same time, I need one favor. I need to tell two people before I leave. One is Mother Kausalya, my dear mother, who has been my life and soul for so many years. And also my dear wife Sita, who has given up everything for me and who's living for my sake. For these two people, I have to tell them that I am leaving. I just cannot leave without telling them. So this one favor, please bestow upon me. Please bear with me just a few minutes. I will quickly go tell Kausalya and Sita, and then I will surely leave. So Kaikeyi agrees for this. Ramachandra immediately he runs to the palace of Kausalya, so that he can go and tell Kausalya about the updates that he's going to lead to the forest. Now, Kausalya, she was in her palace and she had become very lean, very thin because of the observances of different vows. She was shining like a goddess. She was wearing a white silk colored sari, silk white color sari, and she was worshipping the Lord. She was asking the Brahmanas to offer oblations in the fire, and she was taking care of the rituals in the palace. At that time, Ramachandra, he enters and he touches the feet of his mother. Actually, just before Rama entered the palace, the face of the reaction on his face hadn't changed, right? He had just received an instruction from Kaikeyi that he has to go to the palace. The reaction on Lord Ram's face hadn't changed a bit. He immediately accepted. But remember one thing, there is one person who's always with Ram wherever Ram goes, and that is Lakshman. Okay. When Lakshman had heard this, when Lakshman had heard this news, he was very angry. He was extremely angry, and his face he was like a serpent. His face was like, he had become like a serpent with great grief. But then he could understand the mind of Ram. Ram was not showing any emotion on his face. So when Ram and Lakshman walked out of the palace at that time, after hearing all these instructions, Lakshman was behind, he was at a distance, but he knew what happened. And Lakshman was trying to hide his grief because he saw that Ram is not showing any emotion, means even I should not show emotion. So he was trying to hide his grief. But the face of Ramachandra was very serene, very, very, very serene. So, and they walk out. And in fact, there are a lot of people who are receiving Ram at this point in time. See, I think the slide should be first. So there are a lot of people who are receiving Ram in the street, seeing that Ram is walking out of Dashrath's palace, and he's going to Kausalya's palace. So that time people were coming and talking to Ram, and Ram did not show any emotion on his face that he just received a bad news or something like that. And Lakshman was hiding his grief. Still, people were under the impression that Ram is going to get coronated, and they were all looking at him and giving him congratulatory words. See, here it says, the people adjacent to Ram could not visualize any change in the face of Ram, who was dignified and truthful to his words. Ram came out and he spoke to all the people normally, and Lakshman was hiding his grief. Navanam ganta kamasya tyajata cha vasundharam sarvaloka atigasya iva lakshyate chitta vikriya. In that Ram, who was leaving the kingdom after having decided to go to the forest, there was no perturbation of mind, and he was like an ascetic who was beyond the worldly pain and pleasure. So he was very renounced. He did not show pain, pleasure, nothing. So when he asked permission, I just have to tell Mother Kausalya and Sita, I will just leave immediately. He just leaves like that. He circumambulates Kaikeyi and he leaves. And Lakshman was very angry, but Ramachandra, he exhibited complete renunciation. So the commentators say this is actually Bhagavan. You all know what Bhagavan is, right? The six opulences. The one who is complete in knowledge, strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. This renunciation aspect we see Krishna also exhibited during the Rasa dance. Krishna vanished. Similarly, Lord Ramachandra, when he was told there is no kingdom, yes, why not? No problem. He just walked away. Like, how a saintly person would not react to any sort of pain or pleasure They would take everything neutrally like that. This Bhagavan, Lord Ram, in full renunciation, he just walks out. And then he enters Kausalya's palace. That was actually very beautiful that day. It was decorated very nicely. So many people, there were so many servants who were actively going around decorating the place, and nobody could find out that there was some problem that day. Hmm. Kausalya, she had become very, very thin, like I was mentioning, because she used to take up a lot of vows and she was wearing a nice white colored silk sari and she was looking like a goddess. So Rama and Lakshmana, they go inside and they pay obeisances to Kausalya. And Kausalya took Ram on her into her arms and she smells his head. This is another thing, like every time a child is taken by the mother of the or the father, an expression of affection is to smell the child's head. So, like that, Kausalya, she was so happy to see her dear son. And then she told her dear son, today is a very special day, my son. Your father, Dasharath, he's a man of words. She says this. She says, your father is a man of words. He will never go back on his word. He has given his word that he's going to coronate you today. So I'm so happy for you, and I'm doing all these sacrifices so that you will be successful being the king. So Kausalya, she calls Ram and she says, I have prepared some very good meals. I want you to take food now. But then Rama, he just touched in fact, Kausalya gives him a seat, okay? Please sit on this throne. I will go and get you some nice food so that you can satiate your hunger. You must be hungry today. So at that time, Ramachandra, he just touches the seat offered by her. And then again, he pays obeisances to Kausalya and he begins to speak. The same culture you can also see when Hanuman flies later in Sundarakanda. When Hanuman flies across the ocean, Mainaka Parvat, he tells, please rest here for some time. That time, Hanuman, he touches Mainaka. In a way, it's an indication that I accept your hospitality, but I cannot enjoy it now. Okay, Hanuman says, I have to leave, I have things to finish, and he flies away. Similarly, here also, Ramachandra, he just touches the asan because she offers an asan and she says, I will bring you a plate of good food. That time, Ramachandra, he just touches the seat and he says, no, mother, and he again pays obeisances and he tells his mother, I have something to tell you, Sita and Lakshman. There is a great grief that will come to the three of you because he's not getting disturbed with this news. Okay, but he knows very well three of them are going to get disturbed with this news. Who are the three of them? It will be Sita, it will be Lakshman and Kausalya. Three people are going to be very grieved hearing this news. And he says, I'm going to Dandakaranya forest. Why are you giving this very nice seat studded with jewels for me? Time has come for me to sit on a seat that is just made of kusha grass. Because in the forest, you can only sit on seats that are made on with grass, right? So why should I accept this throne studded with jewels? Actually, the seat that I should accept is a seat made with kusha grass. So he says Vishtara. Vishtara is a kind of a seat that is made with kusha grass, a mat that is made with kusha grass. Vistara is made with 25 stalks of kusha grass, while Brahma is another seat that is made of kusha grass, which is made of 50 stalks of kusha grass. So there is some specifications in that. So there are different kusha mats. Some are called as vistaras and others are called as brahmas. So he says, I need only a vistara. I just have to sit on a little kusha mat, small kusha mat. That is all I need. I don't need this. And he tells, of course, he says, I have to go to the Dandakaranya forest. And the king is going to give the kingdom to Bharata. This kingdom is not for me. And I will go to Dandakaranya forest only for 6 years and 8 years. So Rama, he's so sensitive. He's so sensitive to tell his mother 14 years because he thinks if I tell 14 years, she will faint immediately and she'll She'll just stop me. Instead, I will tell it in a way that she doesn't think it's too long. So he says, I will just go to the forest 6 years and 8 years, which means 14 years. But he's trying to tell smaller numbers so that it's digestible for Kausalya. And then, even after that, even after him trying all these tricks, Queen Kausalya faints and she falls on the floor. Just like how when you cut off a branch of a tree, it just drops down, right? Like that, she just dropped. She just dropped flat and she fell unconscious. And he thought, okay, I try to tell her smaller numbers, but still she's fainting with a lot of affection. He goes and he raises his mother and he tries to bring her back to consciousness. Then his mother tells, actually, it would have been better if I were barren, if I didn't have a child at all. What is the worry for a barren woman? The worry is that I don't have a child. But then look at my condition. My condition is worse. A barren woman will have only one problem. But then my problem, I have a son, and now he's going to be sent to the forest. He's going to suffer like this. I'm going to be in separation from him. What can be more painful? So she starts lamenting and she says, Rama, I've never seen any happiness in my life. Even though I am the Pattamahishi, I am the queen, still, all this while, when my husband was in power, I could not see a single day of happiness. I thought after you come to power, some happiness will be there for me. Hmm? But it appears that my life is going to be like this. It is only getting worse. My husband, he always held me down. He didn't give me any independence. He did not treat me equal with my co-wives, equal with Kaikeyi. What to talk about Kaikeyi? He did not even treat me equal with Kaikeyi's servants. That is how I was treated. And now at least some people are there. Some people are serving me. Some people are following me. Some people consider me the queen. But then once they see Bharata on the throne, they will also leave me and go. Mhm. So she tells that, how will I manage? You're telling you're going. How can I imagine a life without you? How will I see this face of Kaikeyi, who's always speaking hurting words? She's always angry. For something or the other, she's always angry and she always speaks hurtingly. How am I going to face her? Hmm? She says, Rama, I've been waiting for 17 years after your sacred threats ceremony, thinking that now all the problems will disappear and you will become the prince. But now also, in this old age, such a terrible news. I cannot bear insult from my co-wives, and it appears that I'm going to have this unending sorrow all my life. So she speaks like that. And why does she say 17 years? Because at this point in time, Ramchandra is 25. At the age of 7, the sacred thread ceremony happens, and he was 25 at this point in time. So she says, I have waited for 17 years after your second birth, not the first birth, the second birth. And she says, Kausalya says, you have told me that you're going to the forest, and still my heart is not breaking. That means my heart is made of steel. My heart is made of iron. That's why it's not breaking into pieces. This is how even our acharyas talk, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says the same thing. Anyway, so Kausalya, she says, it appears that my heart is made of iron and it's not splitting into pieces. In spite of knowing that you're going to leave me and go, I'm not, collapsed yet. And she says, what's the use of this life, Ram? Your face, just seeing your face is like seeing the moon. So nice. My life is useless without you. That's the only pleasure I get. So if you have to go to the forest, I have nothing to stay back. I don't have any interest of staying back here. I will accompany you. I will come to the forest. I will just come to the forest like a cow following her calf. You've seen how cows are very attached to their little babies. Like that, Kausalya was like, I will just follow you wherever you go. That's all. I just want to be with you. She says this, and at that time, Lakshmana is hearing all this and he begins to explode. You all know the anger of Lakshman. He's not going to keep quiet. He tells, Mother Kausalya, oh honorable lady, I don't like this. I don't like the way Ram is being influenced by the words of a woman like Kaikeyi, and he's going to the forest, leaving this prosperous kingdom. And This king, my father, he has a perverted mind. I think because of his old age, he's lost his mind. And he's gone crazy, when sometimes when you become old, you get into salinity. That is, you get a little crazy, you go mad. So he's telling my father has gone mad. And he's just being allured by all the sensual enjoyment that Kaikai can offer him. What kind of man? What is he doing? And really, I cannot see any blame on Ram. If you're thinking our father is not, crazy, then he's just overpowered by a woman because of passion. If you think Ram has made a mistake and that's why father has sending him to the forest, I have never seen any cause of any blame on Ram. In fact, what to talk about me? Nobody has seen any wrong in Ram till this day. Our father is just behaving like a child. So he says that. And Lakshmana, he makes a good proposal. He says, you know what? Before this matter is known to everybody, now Kaikeyi and Dashrath have given orders to Ram. Now, before this matter gets leaked out, Rama, you just take over this kingdom, he tells his brother, and I will guard you with my bow and I will see who can obstruct us. And he says, Rama, the city of Ayodhya will be yours. And if because of Dashrath's orders, if people in the city of Ayodhya go against you, I will shoot down everybody with all my arrows. I will kill anybody who's siding Bharat and who's favorable to him and unfavorable to you. And in this world, soft people are always disgraced. If you are very gentle, if you are meek, if you are kind, you're being utilized. So we should not be like this. I will guard this place and you take over the kingdom. So, like that, Lakshman, he says that forget all the words that the father has spoken or Mother Kaikeyi has spoken. You just take over the kingdom and I will guard you. And he assures Mother Kausalya, if at all Ram has to go to the forest, because he knows that ultimately Ram will stick to Dharma, he listen to the father and all. So Lakshman says, if at all Ram has to go to the forest, I will walk before him. I will not spare anybody. I will take care of everybody in this world. So, hearing all these words of Lakshman, Kausalya, she was comforted actually. She stops weeping and she tells Ram, okay, see what can be done as per Lakshman's words, Kausalya says, because she got some support. And then she looks at Rama and she sees Rama's face is not at all agreeable to all this. So she says, hey, Rama, you're a very righteous man, she Kausalya tells. She sees the reaction of Ram, that Ram is not going to listen to what Lakshman says. And she says, you're very righteous, you're very dharmic. You want to practice virtue all the time. I know about you. So the greatest of all virtues is to stay with the mother and serve the mother. Actually, according at least to the Manu Shastras and the other commentaries here, the mother's service is far more superior to father's service. You have to do Matra Seva. She has more right over the son in terms of service. Okay. So that is the highest dharma a person can follow. In fact, she gives an example that formerly Kashyapa Prajapati, he became a Prajapati only because he was actually serving his mother, Kala, her name is Kala, Marichi's wife. He served his mother very nicely with self-restraint. He was performing austerities. And because of that, he went to heaven and he even became a Prajapati. So mother's service is considered first class. It will lead you to heaven. So that is the best of all dharmas you can do. Stay with me and serve me. Don't go to the forest. And she tells him, I will not live if you leave to the forest. How can I survive with grief? So I will just starve and I will die if you go to the forest. So you stay with me and you serve me. And at that time, it appears Ram is locked. She says, this is the greatest dharma. What are you talking about? Listening to your father and your stepmother. The best service is serving the mother, so just stay with me. So at that time, Ramchandra begins weeping profusely. He starts crying and he says, how can I violate my father's words? My father's words are already spoken. So she says, I bow, and he falls at her feet and he says, I'm bowing down at your feet. I ask you for a favor. Permit me so that I can go to the forest. Actually, again, commentators are saying Rama has another reason also. He wants to go and give protection to the sages in the forest. So he has to somehow go to the forest. So he's falling at Kausalya's feet and he's telling, I have to listen to my father. My father has already said the words. So it's high time I go to the forest. And then just because now Kausalya gave an example of Kashyapa Prajapati, right? So now Ramachandra, he tells there was a sage by the name Kandu. He was an abode of all virtuousness. He knew all the dharma. He performed religious vows and he even killed a cow because his father told him to do so. When fathers, Pitravakya Paripalana Ram, we say, right? Pitravakya Paripalana. So, listening to father's command is actually one of the great dharmas, but the greatest of all dharmas is what Kausalya said. But still, he said, see, my father already spoke. And the minute Dasharath and Kaikeyi gave the order was in action. That is, it had started. The clock started ticking right then because Kaikeyi said, right now, right? She said, you cannot wait. You have to leave the forest right now. That was the word. So the order of the father was already in action. This order has come later from mother. Stay back with me and serve me. So Ram's argument logically is that that order is already in place. Actually, by now I should have been in the forest. But you are giving me another order which is contradictory to the order that is given by father. So I cannot do this. I have to execute the first order and then later he will say, after 14 years, I will come and I will execute your order. Okay, because that is already in motion. Once that is over, after 14 years, I will come and I will serve you. He tells that in a few minutes, I will finish the other dialogues that he speaks. So he says, according to Sage Kandu, he also went to the extent of killing a cow because it was his father's words. Apparently his father gave an order and he had to do it. And of course, these great sages, by the merit of their asceticism, they can actually get over sin, so it's not a big problem for them. Same thing happened with Parashuram. Parashurama, who's the son of Jamadagni, he had to personally slay his mother Renuka and the brothers with an axe. But then, with the great ascetic powers that he had, he requested boons from Jamadagni that his mother should get revived along with the brothers and they should forget whatever had happened. But then Parashuram, he also listened to his father and immediately executed the words of his father. And now Ramachandra, he thought that he just gave back answers to Kausalya. Now he looked at Lakshmana and he said, because Lakshman was still angry. Lakshman was the one who was trying to give new ideas to Kausalya. So he looks at Lakshman and he says, I know your affection for me. It is unparalleled. And he says, I cannot transgress my father's command, whatever the situation may be. See, you have a lot of affection for me. You're saying that we will somehow usurp the kingdom and we'll throw out Dasharath and we will fight with everybody. See, all that is not something that I want to do. I cannot transgress my father's command. Whatever word I have given to my father, that is ultimate. I will follow that. Even though it was coming out from the mouth of Kaikeyi, still it was the father's desire because it was the boon given by my father. So I have to keep up the word given by my father. Now he tells Kausalya, please give me permission. I have to go to the forest. And again, he gives one more example. He says, a sage by the name, a king sage, that is a Raja Rishi, by the name Yayati in the olden times, he left heaven and he went back to heaven because he was abiding by truthfulness. So there is a story of King Yayati. You all know Yayati from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Yayati was the one who was married to Devayani, and he was very lusty, and then eventually I think he at least goes to the he gets. I mean, sorry, he gets comes to the point of realization with that he has wasted all his life and He tells the analogy of the he-goat and the she-goat to Devayani, and finally he attains perfection. This is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, the ninth canto. You can read the story of Yayati. But actually, there is a story of Yayati himself that he had acquired a lot of merit at one point in time that he could go to heaven. But then when he went to heaven, this is a small story in the Rama, in the commentaries, that when he went to heaven, he started, Indra asked him, so it appears you have come to heaven, and you have come to heaven because of the great austerities that you could perform. Sometimes this is true for everybody. We become very proud of the austerities that we can perform, right? So we become very proud. See, I can do this, I can do that, I can go without food and water for so many days. And there is some sort of a pride that kicks in. So the same thing happened with Yati. When he had gone to heaven, Indra asked him, so it appears that in this entire universe, you are the only one who can actually do such severe austerities and penances. And Yayati was kind of proud inside, in his heart. He was thinking he's the best, he can do all this. So he said, yeah, I am like really good at it and I can do it, and nobody is like me. So the minute he started bragging, immediately he lost all his spice credits and he fell down from heaven. And again, by then he had his grandchildren's generations. And when his grandchildren saw that Yayati was falling off from heaven, these grandchildren or the future generation kings in his lineage, they tell that we will give you all our merits and you go back to heaven. Then Yayati says, no, 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 I cannot take your merit. I have to earn the merit. Then one of them, one of the descendants, he says, okay, you don't have to accept the merits for free. I will give you some commodity like grass, and you give your merit. Sorry, you accept the merits and you give me some commodity like grass. Actually, they have some exchange of grass like kusha grass. So he says, you give me kusha grass so that I can do sacrifices, and I will give you my merit. Then also Yayati says, no, that is not correct. I will come and I will accrue my merit and then only go to heaven. I have learned my lesson. So because he was truthful at that point in time, again Indra comes and takes him to heaven, saying that your truthfulness has taken you back to heaven. So like that is the example Ramachandra is telling. Ramachandra is telling, I will abide by truthfulness like Yayati and I will come back. Like how Yayati went back to heaven. Okay, so you see the analogy he is using. Rama is telling, just like how Yayati used the instrument of truthfulness to go back to heaven, though he fell down. Similarly, I will use the same instrument of truthfulness of abiding to my father's order, and I will come back to Ayodhya in 14 years. Okay, that way I would have fulfilled my promise. Then Kausalya said, see, you are speaking so highly of your father. I have given my promise to my father. My father is virtuous. I cannot let him down, and so on. I am also a respectable person, as much as your father is a respectable person. I have so much affection for you. In fact, mother has much more affection than a father. So I will not give you permission. You cannot go. You cannot go, leaving me in sorrow. If at all you have to go, you have to take me along. Okay. Now Rama was locked again. So Rama, he looks at Lakshman and he says, see, I cannot avoid fulfilling my father's command. For both of us, father is a very, very important person. To Mother Kausalya, now he makes a point. He tells he's indicating to Mother Kausalya. Dasharath is an important person for both of us, Lakshmana, for both you and me. Similarly, Dasharath is also a very crucial and important person to Mother Kausalya because Dasharath is the husband of Kausalya. And when Dasharath is alive, especially when he is on a dharmic path, how can Kausalya come with me? He's talking to his brother in the presence of the mother because he can't directly give instruction to his mother, right? So he's telling his brother, how can mother come with me when Dasharath is alive? She cannot leave this place. She has to stay with him because he's on a dharmic path. And when the husband is alive, the wife cannot just leave and come. So, which means it's a message to Kausalya, Mother Kausalya, you just cannot leave like that and come when Dasharath is alive. So, as long as he's alive, you have to stay here. So, you have to stay in the city, you have to stay with him, you have to continue to perform sacrifices with him, continue to rule with him. So, and he tells again to his mother, I promise you, I will come and serve you after 14 years. You told me the greatest dharma is to serve one's mother. Yes, I agree. But since the word of the father has come into action now, I will go to the forest and come back after 14 years and I will execute your desire as well. So Ramachandra, he had decided in his heart that he wanted to go to the Dandakaranya forest, and he consoles his mother, and he also advised his brother. He told him, have good thoughts, okay? Don't talk like this, that I will go kill this person, that person, I will take out father from the kingdom. Don't make such accusations. And he circumambulates his mother and he decides to go. Rama tells Lakshman, now you should show some enthusiasm. You were so enthusiastic when you heard about my coronation. Now, when I'm going to the forest, also show the same enthusiasm. Make preparations for my departure as much as you were so excited to make preparations for my coronation. And then he tells his brother, you should not be so angry with Kaikeyi anymore. Be nice to her, give her some happiness. And I have never had discrimination between my mothers. I never discriminated between Kausalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Similarly, you should also not discriminate between Kaikeyi and other mothers, and you should also not discriminate between Bharata and me. Okay, so don't blame Kaikeyi for everything. It was just providence. It is just fate that abolished my coronation. It is not Kaikeyi. So don't keep blaming her. It is all my bad fate. And he says, he gives an example. See, think about the great sages. So many sages are performing austerities and penances, but then they are also harassed by lust and anger and they have fall downs. So that is all fate. You can't help it. So, like that, it is my fate that I have to go to the forest. So, let Bharata be coronated. Let everything that was collected for Bharata's coronation be used up very nicely, meaning for his coronation, Rama, but let it be used for Bharata's coronation. And then he tells, my dear Lakshman, unnecessarily do not suspect our mother. That is, he's telling Kaikeyi. So whatever words that came out of her mouth, yeah, she spoke evil words, but it's okay. It's all my fate. And you know how powerful destiny is, right? This is all the work of destiny. So when he said that, this angered Lakshman even more. It's a very nice characterization of Lakshman. So Lakshman gets even more angry and he starts frowning with knitted eyebrows. He said, why are you blaming destiny? Why can't you see the fault in Dasharath and Kaikeyi? They are to be blamed, and instead you're blaming destiny. What did destiny do here? Very openly, we can see that it is the direct fault of Kaikeyi and Dasharath. It has nothing to do with destiny. And that too, this is such an old promise. They should have fulfilled this promise long time ago. Where is the reason for them to bring it up now when they know that your coronation is happening? This all seems to be a drama to me. So this is Lakshman's imagination. This is what he's thinking. He is telling that his Dasharath and Kaikeyi have executed a wonderful drama. If at all, so this is Lakshman's thought process according to the commentaries. Lakshman is telling Rama, this was thoughtfully executed by Kaikeyi, not thoughtfully, very cunningly executed by Kaikeyi and Dasharath. Actually, this promise was given by Dasharath to Kaikeyi long time back. And long time back itself, they could have said that the kingdom is for Bharat only. They could have done that. But then they were scared. They were scared that people will point out saying in the entire Ikshvaku dynasty, only the older son has taken up the kingdom. How come suddenly you can break the rule? So they have come up with a plan that they will announce that it is your coronation, and then last minute they will talk about the boons and they will retract your coronation and coronate Bharat on the same day. This is their plan, and you're not seeing fault in them, and you are seeing fault in destiny. So Lakshman, he uh, he actually spins it like that and he thinks like that. So he says, they are enemies in the name of parents. It is not proper of even thinking of fulfilling their desire. Only a coward person will resort to destiny. Who talks about destiny? We are Kshatriyas. We don't talk about destiny. And if at all by that destiny your coronation is crushed, then I will go and crush that destiny with my powers and let everybody see it. So Lakshman was in full force. He was like, if destiny is the reason for your loss of coronation, then I will go and kill that destiny. I will go crush that destiny. And I will reverse destiny by my power. And then he says, at the end of 1,000 years of your ruling the kingdom, after you retire, you take Vanaprasth and you go to the forest. I will give this kingdom to your sons and let your sons rule this kingdom. And if you think that you don't want this kingdom because Dasharath may pose some obstacles for you, I will take care of that Dasharath. I will protect you against Dasharath. I will protect your kingdom just like how the sea coast protects the entire sea. If not, I will go to the heroic world of the heavens. So, like this, Lakshman, he takes vows. And then he says, today everybody will see the effect of my weapons, especially this Dashrath and Kaikeyi. If at all they stop this coronation of yours, everybody will see the power of my weapons. So then again, Rama had to start all over again. He had to calm down Lakshman. And then he consoled Lakshman again and again. And he was wiping off Lakshman's tears. And he kept saying, at the end of the day, you can say many things, Lakshman, but I have to stand by the words of my father. And I know this is the correct path. Then, after a lot of consoling back and forth with Lakshman and Kausalya, finally Kausalya understands the nature of her son. So she sipped some water for purification and she decided to give permission to Lord Ram to go to the forest and return soon. And she knows, just like Yayati's truthfulness, Ramachandra will also return soon. So she begins to give blessings to her son. She says, let all the missiles that you have gathered by the blessings of Vishwamitra come and protect you. Let the Vishwadevas protect you. Let the Sadhyas, the Maruts, the different sages, let all the demigods in all the directions come and protect you and ensure happiness to you while you are in the forest. May all the seasons, the Shruti, the Smriti, Lord Skanda, Brihaspati, Narada, let all of them guard you from all directions. Let the mountains, rivers, and all the other resources protect you. May you be guarded from pishachas, rakshasas, monkeys, mosquitoes, scorpions, snakes, insects, different wild animals, and all the dushtagrahas in the world. Let the blessings that were given to Indra to conquer Vritrasur, let those blessings be with you. And she says, which blessing was invoked by Vinata to Garuda, who was setting off to bring nectar in the past, may the same blessings happen to you. So this is a very beautiful section. The blessings of Vinata given to Garuda. When Garuda goes to go and get the nectar, it is there in the Mahabharata, the entire blessings, how she blesses. The same blessings are actually bestowed on Kausalya, the same prayers. Let you be protected in all directions. And I pray that you're protected in all directions, like doing kavach for the person, kavacham. So she does the same kavacham for Lord Ram. We see when Lord Krishna, when he was playing in Vrindavan, the gopis, they would do this. They would chant mantras and they would give protection. They would, using cow dung and urine, they would mark on Krishna's body and give him protection by chanting mantras. May Narayana protect you when you are walking. May Sridhara protect you. May Keshava protect you. Like that, they would give protection, right, for the child. Like that, for Lord Ramachandra also, she was giving these protective mantras so that he is fully protected by the mother before he sets out to the forest. And this is the same mantras that were spoken by Vinata to Garuda. And also it had the mantras that were spoken for Indra before he went out to conquer Vritrasura. So she speaks all these mantras, and then she took some unbroken, like rice mixed with turmeric, and she puts it on her son's head as Ashirvad, and she smears various sandalwood pastes on his body. And finally, she gets a sacred thread chanted with mantras. So sometimes, even we also, when we attend a fire sacrifice, we are given a nice, like a thread that is there from the fire sacrifice as a kavacha. It's a, thread that we tie in our arms, amulets. Like some people, they wear Nashinga kavach also in their necks, right? So these are different amulets that are empowered by mantras. So she gets a particular amulet that is empowered with the Vishalya Karani mantra. Vishalya Karani is a protective amulet that will take out all the poison that one gets in contact with. Like, for example, especially in the forest, there are scorpions and snakes and all that. So, with the help of this Vishalya Karani, the poison can be extracted out. How do we know this? We also know this Vishalya Karani is used later when Hanuman goes to bring the Sanjeevani Parvat, right? At that time, four herbs are being taken out by Sushena, who's the doctor. What are the four herbs? Vishalya Karani, Sandana Karani, Sandhini, I forget. Okay. Anyhow, there are four such herbs that I used. So this thread was had the power of those herbs, and she tries that amulet so that he can amulet. Sorry, so that he can go to the forest. Though she was filled with grief inside, she appeared to have a smiling face to let him go because she knew that she shouldn't hurt him further because he'll be really upset. So she smells his head and then she says, "Okay, Rama, my son, you go and accomplish your purpose and come back soon after 14 years, and you must ascend the throne after 14 years." So Kausalya, like this, she gives protection to Ram. And then Ram, again, he circumambulates her and he proceeds to Sita's palace. So let's see what happens when Ram meets Sita. A very interesting section of the Ramayana, very, very interesting section of the Ayodhya Kanda also. So Rama, after finally consoling his mother, he proceeds to Sita's palace. Sita, she was inside. She was inside the palace and she was worshipping the Lord. And she was waiting for Ram to come because she knew that Ram was called to Dasharatha's palace. He would have been given instructions. Now he'll come back. He has to get ready. He has to get dressed, and all the arrangements have to be made for him. So she was excited and she was getting everything ready and she was looking at the door, waiting for Ram to come. At that time, she saw Ram and he was entering the palace. But instead of being very happy because he's going to be coronated, Ramchandra's face was slightly turned down. Now, why was his face sad? We just said that Ram was very undisturbed, nothing could trouble him. He was very sad at this point in time because he didn't know how to open up this topic to Sita. He knew he's going to bring sadness to Sita. So he was very worried. So, because of that, his face was downcast. And people in that palace, they were rejoicing because they were all waiting that today is going to be such a special day. And Sita, when she saw that her husband had come, she immediately springs up with her from her seat to go and receive him. But then when she saw his downcast face, her entire body started trembling because she had never seen her husband like that. And she was seeing that Ram was trying to hide something in his face. He was trying to put a artificial smile, but he was really, something was wrong with him. So immediately Sita, we see in the end of Balakanda, Sita knew the heart of Rama and Rama knew the heart of Sita. They could speak beyond words, right? So like that, Sita could immediately understand that Ram was in some trouble. So Sita inquired, "My dear Lord, what happened? Isn't it the Pushya Nakshatra? It's the star of your star of your coronation. You should be very happy. Why is your face so dull? And I don't see any processions around you. You should have come to the palace with a grand procession and Vadyas. I mean, like people must have been beating drums and, announcing, saying that Ram is entering the palace because it's your coronation day, but there are no people around you. There is no kingly processions around you. And somehow you don't look all right. It appears that you're trying to hide some emotions from me. So then Ramachandra, he tells Sita, oh, my dear Sita, you are born in a very great family. You know what is right, what is good virtue, what is dharma. So you please listen to me and hear from me what happened. Two boons were given to my mother Kaikeyi long time ago by my father Dasharath. The two boons have been asked now. By the two boons, I have to dwell in the Dandakaranya forest for 14 years, and Bharat will be appointed as the prince by my father. So I have to leave immediately to the forest. He tells Sita, oh Sita, after I leave to the forest, you can just take up nice religious vows, fasting, and you can serve sages and you can pass your time in my absence when I am in the forest. Ensure that you treat Dasharath very nicely, take care of Kausalya, take care of all my mothers equally, and treat Bharata and Shatrughna like your own sons. Bharata is the king and he's taking care of the kingdom and he's also very dear to our family. So ensure that you're kind to him and you don't behave in a displeasing manner towards him just because I'm going to the forest and he is becoming the king. So you live comfortably in Ayodhya, do your services, and I will go to the forest. You can stay here and just listen to everybody, be a nice girl, and continue to be like this, and I will leave. So he gives all this speech. Stay back, be nice, be good, I will leave, you do the fast, so on. At that time, Sita gets very angry out of love. Now, this anger is not egoistic anger, it is anger out of love. When you love someone a lot, sometimes you tend to get angry with the same person, right? So she was very angry and she said, Rama, what are you talking? People will laugh at the words that you spoke. So you can see a lot of beautiful characterizations of Mother Sita here. So she says, people will laugh at you for what you said. What are you talking? You think I'll be happy here? That's what she's meaning to say. You are going to Dandakaranya forest, okay. But what kind of words is this? You stay here, you be happy, be responsible, take care of others. Why should I stay here? That is her point. All the relatives that you mentioned, take care of Bharata, Shatrughna, my mother, your mother, all the relatives will find a way to continue to survive in your absence. But, O Rama, the wife for one, for a wife, it is only the husband. Okay, he's the true relation. For that reason, I will not I will not live in this palace and I will come with you to the forest. For a wife, it is only the husband who's the true relation. She says this, Na pita na atmajo na atma na mata na saki jana iha pretya cha nari nam patir eko gati sada. To a woman, father or son or self or mother or female companions are not the recourse. Husband alone is forever the best recourse, either in this world or after her death. So, यदि त्वं प्रस्थित दुर्गम वनम अद्य एव राघव अग्रतत्ते गमिष्यामि मृदन्ति कुशकण्टकान्. O Ram, if you set forth to the forest now, which is so difficult to be traversed, I will come before you, trampling down all the thorns and grass. I will walk forward. Aham agratagashami. I will go in the forward. I will ask you to follow me. I will go. I will stamp down all the thorns and make the surface very smooth for your lotus feet to walk on. Just like how the gopis of Vrindavan, They are thinking their breasts, their chest is very hard for the lotus feet of Krishna. Like that, Sita is telling, I will go further. I will trample down all these thorns and hard rocks. I will clear the path for you, and you can follow me in the forest. She says, protection under the feet of the husband is better than being on top of a lofty mountain with nice palaces and with aerial cars and entertainment and all of this. And I will stay with you very, very happily. I shall dwell in the forest happily as if I'm staying in my father's house. So she says forest two times. And that is another commentary that is mentioned. She says, happen staying with you in the forest, being with you is very happy. I will stay in the forest with you, just like how I stayed in my father's house. Like that, she says about the forest twice. Again, the commentators say it means that she is saying, I will stay with you in the forest of Dandakaranya. Later, even if I'm separated from you and I'm staying in the forest, there also I will think about you and stay keeping you in my heart. That's what happens when she goes to Lanka, right? When she goes to Lanka, she's not with Rama. It's like Sita, when she's in her father's house, she will not be with Rama, right? Like that, when she's in Lanka also, she's not with Rama, but still she's in the forest. How will she be with Rama when she's in Lanka? By keeping Rama in her heart, right? So, like that, she mentions forest twice, and then the commentators they come and they say, "Oh, she's meaning she will stay with Rama in the forest, in the Andakaranya, and later when she's separated also, she will keep Rama in her heart and stay in Lanka." Like that. So Sita Devi says, I will be under your protection. Doesn't matter. Without you, what is all this palace and all this comforts? It is all nothing in your absence. So she says, what are you saying that you leave me and go? You are the protector of everybody. You will easily protect me. If I'm in the forest with you, if you can protect me nicely, you protect so many people in the kingdom, then what to talk about my protection in the forest? And I will come with you. I will just live on roots and fruits. I will just eat that and I'll be very, very happy with you. I will not cause any disturbance for you. I will not cause any, unhappiness or unpleasantness for you. I will just stay with you and I will accept whatever is available. I won't trouble you having gone there. That I want, rich meals. I won't ask for all that. I will just be happy with fruits and tubers. I will not ask you, give me jewels, give me sari, give me food. Nobody's going to ask that, but still, she says, I will not cause any unpleasantness to you. So she says, even heaven, even if you give me heaven with all the comforts, that is not as pleasing to me as being in your company. So after he spoke, he said, oh, be here, take care of this and that. Immediately she speaks like this. Now Ramachandra got a little worried because he was thinking how to prevent her from coming. So he came up with a big list of reasons for one full chapter why she should not come. So that entire chapter I didn't put, I just put some verses. Okay. So he begins to say, hey, Sita, listen, you are very delicate. There are many inconveniences in the forest. There are so many wild animals, and if the forest is a lonely place. Forest is very uncomfortable for you because these wild animals can attack you anytime. Even though there are so many streams in the forest, all these streams are filled with crocodiles and it is very dangerous. You just cannot step into a stream. They are filled with all sorts of dangerous aquatic animals, so it is very uncomfortable. And forest is not an easy place. You will be continuously fatigued, all the time walking around, and you'll have sleepless nights because you just have to sleep on the floor on a bed of leaves. So forest is a place of misery, thorns, wild trees everywhere. You can't step in one place properly. And then how should you survive? You should just be eating fruits that are fallen from the trees. You are the princess of Mithila. How can you do fasting? Fasting should be done according to one's stamina. You don't have so much stamina to do all this fasting and austerity. And clothes and bark should be clothes of bark, because when you go to the forest, you wear bark or you wear deer skin. So clothes of bark should be worn only for people with nice strong bodies. How will you wear all that? And you have to wear matted hair. All this won't suit you. And then a person who's in the forest should not be angry, should not be greedy, should be very, very intent on devotion, should follow asceticism, meaning doing austerities, tapasya. You're a princess. You cannot keep doing tapasya in the forest. So just get away with this idea. There are scorpions, there are snakes, there are demons, rakshasas. It's a very scary place. So I don't want you to suffer like that. So please don't come. So just throw away this idea. It's not a good idea coming to the forest. Forest will not be bearable for you. And it has too many disadvantages. So the better way out is to stay back in the palace. So at this point in time, Sita became very distressed. She felt very bad with whatever Ramchandra was telling her. She said, Rama, I already know about forest. You don't have to give me education on forest. I know what is there in the forest. I know all these disadvantages that you have mentioned. Okay. But remember, any disadvantage will be an advantage for me if your affection is there with me. Why will I fear animals in your presence? She says. And not only that, Rama, I already expected all this. I was told in my childhood that I would be residing in a forest in the future. There were many Brahmanas who would come to my father's palace and they were able to interpret marks on my body. And they said, using the face reading, they said at one point in time, this lady will live in the forest. Not only that, when I was a young girl, there was a female mendicant. There was a woman, an old lady who was a mendicant, and she was an ascetic woman. She came and she, in the presence of my mother, she came to my mother's palace. And when she saw me, she made this prediction. She said, in the future, this girl is going to stay in the forest for a few years. So many people have made predictions. At that time itself, I had made up my mind. I am going to live in the forest. I was mentally prepared. So this is not news to me. I was expecting something like this to happen in our lives. That time has come now. So I will come with you. It is better if I'll come with you. It is all predicted. It is destined that I must come with you. And then she looks at Ram and she says, if you don't take me to the forest, then I will drink poison, or I will jump into fire, or I'll jump into the water and I will die. So don't leave me and go. And then Ram was again sorrowful. He was thinking, how am I going to convince this lady? So, but before he could speak again, Sita was so agitated. She went to Ram and she tried to again console him, uh, telling that he should not leave her. But it appeared that Ram was not ready to listen. He was trying hard to convince her to stay there. That's when she speaks this very classic verse, a very famous verse in the Valmiki Ramayana that speaks volumes about Mother Sita. She says, Kim tvamanyatya vaideha pita me mithiladhipa Rama jamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. So she says, Rama jamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraham. This is, just to incite that anger in Ram, so that Ram takes her. So she says, Kim tva amanyatya vaideha. It appears that vaideha pitame mithiladhipaha. My father, it appears that my father, the king of Mithila, belonging to the county of Videha, it appears that he got a son-in-law. Jamatara means son-in-law. He got a son-in-law who is actually a woman who has taken the form of a man. She says like that. So she's telling, you are willing to desert me. It appears that my father, Mithiladhipaha, the king of Videha, has only obtained a son-in-law, namesake son-in-law. He's actually a woman. Outwardly he's dressing like a man, but inside he's a woman because he can't even take care of me. So that's what she says. And again, commentators come here and they say so many things about this verse. The word Rama is used here specifically because Rama means all attractive, one who attracts, right? I mean, one who's very pleasing. That is the name of Rama. So outwardly you appear pleasing, like a very nice man, but inwardly, what are you? You are actually a weakling. You are no good inwardly. And then there is the word Jamatram. Jamatram is the son-in-law, my father's son-in-law. She doesn't say it appears that I got a husband. She says, my father got a son-in-law who is like this. Why son-in-law? They say there's a saying that says Jamataram Dashamo Graha. That means there are 9 grahas that are tormenting living entities. They are giving problems to living entities. But then there is a 10th graha that is the biggest problem for everybody, which is Jamatara, which is the son-in-law. Because the son-in-law is constantly having demands to the father-in-law. Oh, give me this ring for Deepali, give me this gold necklace for your daughter in those days. Okay, today nobody does all that. That is how they speak. But in olden times, or maybe even one generation back, the husband side had a lot of demands for the girl's side. So every festival, they had to do something special for the son-in-law. Okay, give me dowry, give me a flat, give me a car, and so on. So that's why there was a saying in olden times, it's a Jamatara Dashamograha. So she specifically says that you are like a Dashamograha now. You're behaving like that to my father-in-law. Kim tva amanatya Vaideha pitame Mithiladipah. He's Mithiladipah and he is Vaideha. You know what? Janaka is known, her father Mithiladipah is known for performing many sacrifices. You see, he was performing a lot of karma. Janaka, but at the same time, he was a Raja Rishi and he was very detached. He did everything. He's the only person whom even Krishna speaks about in the Bhagavad Gita. So, but he was performing his duties very nicely. At the same time, he was very detached. Now, when he would perform his duties, to perform karma, you should have your wife with you. Otherwise, you can't perform. Okay. So, if you're performing sacrifices, whatever, without wife, it is useless. So, one should have wife with him. She's telling my father always had his wife with him. He never left his wife. But unfortunately, the son-in-law my father got wants to leave the wife. That is the other thing she's indicating here. So she's indicating multiple things. One is you are not, it appears that you are too useless inside, meaning you can't even take care of your wife. You're very weak. It appears that you're very attractive only outside and inside there is nothing. And then she says, Jamatram, what a Dashamograha we got. And then she says, my father always lived with his wife. And what to talk about you? You're ready to give up your wife and go to the forest, not taking her with you. So like this, there are many layers to this verse that she speaks. Of course, she's not speaking this to, insult Ram or something, but she wants to lovingly tell her husband that this is no solution. You have to take me. So immediately she says, oh, brave man, because she knows that she didn't mean it that way. So she says, oh, brave man, remember, I will always be dependent on you. Just like how Savitri was with Satyavan, similarly, I will stay with you. Even at the time of Sita, they talk about Savitri Satyavan. So you can imagine Satyavan Savitri is such an old story, even before Ramayana. So she says, like Satyavan Savitri, I will always be with you. I will walk with you. Let's walk on grass. I will walk on the shrubs and let anything prick me. I don't care. And all the rough path and the pebbles and all these thorns, they will be very soft, like heaps of cotton for me in your presence. And I will eat fruits and flowers with you there in the forest. And I will not tell I want to go to my mama's house. I will not tell I want to go to Mithiladipa's house. I will not say all that. I will be very happy with you. So again, she says, now, if you don't take me, she again blackmails him. She says, I will drink poison and die because I cannot bear separation with you. I will not be separated from you for 14 years. Actually, there's another verse that she says that especially when she said, I cannot, you're my husband, a woman's only recourse is her husband. She also indicates that you have very nicely advised your mother, okay, that she should stay with her husband. because her husband is alive, her husband is the kingdom, she should not leave her husband and come to the forest. Similarly, Sita's point is also the same dharma applies to her. So she says, the same thing applies to me. I can also not be without my husband. I will follow my husband wherever he goes. As much as your mother should not be separated from her husband, similarly, I cannot be separated from you. So this is another commentary because the same dharma applies to her and her argument is right. So like this, she started crying. Crystal-like tears were coming out of her eyes because of grief, just like how drops are present on a lotus flower. So then Ramachandra, he smiles and he says, it appears you're very insistent on coming with me. So, okay, you come with me. Sita, even a heaven is not liking for me without your presence. I just said all this just to see, if you really want to come. But it appears that you really, really want to come. So obviously, even I'm not going to be happy without you. So you come along. So he tells, give all the valuable gifts to the Brahmanas and food to the mendicants, because before going to the forest, you donate everything. So he tells her, go and donate all your jewelry, give everything, and be very quick. Don't delay. Come back soon. And then we will go to the forest. At that time, there is a very, very crucial turning point. What is that turning point? Lakshmana is watching. He's watching everything. Evam shrutva tu samvadam Lakshmana purvamagata. He had already come. Bhashpavaryam kulam mukha shokam sodam shanknuvan sabhratrucharanau gadam nipidya raghunandana sitamuvacha iti yatham raghavam cha mahavratam sabhratrucharanau gadam nipidya raghunandana. What happened? This Lakshman, he was hearing this entire conversation of Sita and Ram, and he immediately went and caught hold of what? Caught hold very tightly of Ramachandra's feet. Okay, Bhratru Charana, both the feet, very tightly. Ghadyam Nipidya Raghunandana. This Raghunandana, not that. So who's the Raghunandana here? It is Lakshman. Lakshman went and caught hold of his Bhratru Charana. Both the feet he caught hold very tightly in the presence of Mother Sita. And he does a Sharanagati. Lakshmana, who had come earlier, heard the conversation of Sita and Ram, having his eyes glut with tears, being made unable to bear this anguish, tightly pressed the feet, both the feet of his brother, and he told Rama, who was performing a great vow and who was with the Sita at that time. So this is a Sharanagati. Lakshmana says, if you go to the forest, I will also come with you to the forest. So he goes and he holds on to Rama's feet along with Sita. This is a very, very important juncture because we were speaking about many Sharanagatis so far. We saw the Sharanagati of the demigods when they wanted the Supreme Lord to descend. That was the first Sharanagati we saw. Then we saw two Sharanagatis of Vishwamitra. That was done to Vishwamitra. And then later we saw one failure Sharanagati, Dasharath, he failed in front of Parashuram. All that happened. Then in the Ayodhya Kand, this is the first Sharanagati that comes. That is Lakshman, he goes and catches hold of the feet of Rama in the presence of Sita. And he surrenders unto him and tells him, I want to come with you to the forest. So at that time, Ramachandra says, hey, Lakshman, if you come to the forest along with me now, who will support Kausalya and Sumitra? Nobody will be there for them. And this Kaikeyi, she will obviously not give good treatment to her co-wives. So two mothers are there. You're just going to leave them and come? So for my sake, you should not come like this, leaving our mothers behind. But then Lakshmana, he is known for speaking very intelligently. So Lakshmana says, what are you telling? Huh? I should take care of Mother Sumitra and Kausalya. Bharata will do the job. Bharata will take very good care of Sumitra and Kausalya. And what to talk about Kausalya? She's such a great woman. She single-handedly takes care of 1,000 villages. 1,000 villages under the control of Dasharat was personally taken care of Kausalya. And he says Kausalya is capable of taking care of so many of them, including the rest of the mothers and herself. She doesn't need anyone's help. So you just take me along with you. And I will take my bow and arrow. I will carry a spade and basket, and I will walk in front of you, showing the path. Not only that, I will procure everything that is needed. I will get tubers, I will get fruits, I will get flowers, I will get everything. Aham sarvam karishyami jagrata swapataschate. I will do everything. You can simply enjoy with Sita. Enjoy yourself with Sita on the mountain ridges, and I will do everything, whether you are awake or you are sleeping. Aham sarvam karishyami. I'm asking you for service. I want to do service. Jagrataha, whether you're awake or swapataschate, whether you're sleeping, whatever it may be, I will come and do all the service. So the minute he said, Aham sarvam karishyami, both Sita and Ram, we decided, okay, good choice. Come. So Lakshman, Ramachandra says, hey, Lakshman, actually, when there was a great sacrifice that was performed by Janaka, I got many weapons. You know, that Shivadanush breaking time, he says he got many weapons. What were those weapons? I got some armors, I got quivers of arrows, I got swords, and I got, what else he says? I got some, a lot of weapons, swords, arrows, bows, and so many other weapons from Varuna. All these were given by Varuna, and later it was given to me. So all these are kept in the residence of Vasishta. Go and tell Vasishta, pay my obeisances, and ask Vasishta for all these weapons and bring it. We will go together to the forest. So Rama immediately agrees. The minute Lakshmana says, I surrender unto you and I want service, Lord Ramachandra and Sita, both of them are very pleased and they accept when he says, Aham sarvam karishami. Yes, that is the goal of life, right? So we all want devotional service, and the Lord is and just by doing devotional service in the presence of Mother Lakshmi, in the presence of Mother Sita, one can attain all perfection. So Ramachandra says, oh, Lakshman, you're the perfect man. And you came in correct time. You came in correct time. That is also another important fact. Because Lakshman surrendered in the presence of Sita. That is very important. When we surrender also, we go through Srimati Radharani to Krishna, right? We don't go to Krishna directly. So that is an art of surrender. You should surrender in the presence of the consort of the Lord, in the presence of the Shakti, in presence of Srimati Radharani, because she is the one who's very compassionate, and she will tell the Lord, she will recommend us to the Lord, telling he has fallen at your feet, accept him. And why should we surrender? We should surrender for service. And that is what Lakshman is doing. So he tells Lakshman, give away donations to the Brahmanas and bring those weapons from Vasishta. And once you do all the donations and you give away everything, then we all can go to the forest. So this is Lakshmana Sharanagati. Lakshman came and fell at the feet of Lord Ram and begged him that he wanted to join him. He surrendered for what? He surrendered so that he can serve. He did the perfect surrender because the ultimate aim of surrender is for seva prayojan, eternal servitude. He said, Aham sarvam karishyami jagrata swapatasche. Cha. He said, I surrender to you with Sita and I request for service. When we chant the Mahamantra, we chant, Oh Hara, engage me in your service. We request Radharani, Hara, to engage us in the service of Sri Radha and Krishna. This is Sharanagati, perfect Sharanagati done by Lakshman. Hence, it was accepted immediately. Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita decided to go to the forest. Service was accepted. Sharanagati 5, 100% success. So with that success story, I will stop. I purposely took 10 minutes more because I wanted to cover up for the time I didn't do the previous class. So we'll stop here. I didn't leave you in a cliffhanger this time. because I wanted to do Lakshman Sharanagati. We'll stop here and we'll continue our class next Monday. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Hey, by the way, I didn't ask for raise hands and verses. I'm sorry. Next class, I will ensure I have.
That's okay, Mataji. We were enjoying you reciting the verses, so no problem.
I totally forgot.
Excellent class, excellent session. Yes, Mataji. I was thinking that how Mother Sita could convince Rama. That same thing why Urmila couldn't convince Lakshmana. So she's also one of the, I like her, the way she left everything. She could also have convinced Lakshman the same way. I don't know whether you'll be talking about her, that how Lakshman or Valmiki talked about this.
Valmiki didn't say anything, which means we don't know like what was her intention, whether she was able to convince, whether she really heavily desired to go with Lakshman. We don't know. So he didn't say anything, so we don't know.
So
I don't like other Ramayana, there is something about this. I don't know. But Valmiki doesn't say.
Valmiki not even touched upon this topic. Oh, Krishna. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yes, Parima Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was like absorbed in your class and I did not even realize that you took 10 minutes extra because your classes are so absorbing. It's like the entire Ramayana is like, a movie is going on in front of me, my eyes. It was so absorbing. So thank you so much. Mataji, there is one version which I have come across is that Urmila's sacrifice was also very, very great. I don't know if it's not mentioned in this Ramayana, maybe, that her sacrifice was so great that Lakshmana did not sleep for 14 years. It seems that Nidra Devi came to Urmila and Urmila slept on his behalf. For 14 years, she was asleep.
Okay.
This is one version. I have come across that. I don't know how authentic it is and in which Ramayana it is mentioned. I don't know.
It is all mentioned in Ramacharitra by Tulsidas ji.
Okay, you know that better, Kirtida Mataji. I don't know. But as I have come across this version that because Lakshmana could, not sleep and remain awake for 14 years and, protect Lord Ram and Sita because Urmila, that's why he asked Urmila to stay back. That this will be your dedication to me that you stay back and then you sleep on my behalf.
This is a nice one, right? Even I would like to sleep.
It's not so easy, Mataji, sleeping for 14 years. We cannot sleep for 14
years. We are the category of Muchukunda, we can sleep.
I was about to say Kumbhakarna, but you gave a better example.
Muchukunda.
Anyway, I don't know anything, but this is what I've come across. I just thought maybe I should, come up with this.
Yeah, Mataji, that's all mentioned in Tulsi. That's all mentioned.
From today, I'm a big fan of Urmila.
No, I am already a big fan. But Mataji, actually, last time also this question came up, right? That how Kekai was brainwashed. So actually, but Pradhananda Prabhu was mentioning that how the demigods thought, oh, if Ram would stay in Ayodhya, what will happen? Who will kill Ravan? So they approached Saraswati. And this is all mentioned in Tulsidas Ramayana.
So even this Urmila's thing is also mentioned in Tulsidas Ramayana?
Yeah, not in detail like you are saying, but yes, there is an entire samvad, that is conversation that is mentioned.
Okay. Okay.
Really? Yeah. There's a samvad also?
Yeah, Mataji. There is Lakshman convinced Urmila that you have to take care of Kaushalya and Sumitra.
Then what happens?
Exactly. I don't want to say. Let me read further, then I will come back.
Yeah. Please let us know. Even I'm curious. I mean, if the case is sleep for 14 years, that is fantastic.
How did she take care of the mothers when she has to sleep, right?
Oh, yeah, she can't do that. Yeah. She'll keep sleeping. No.
And it seems that when Bharata went for Nandagram, Because he was living a life of an austere life. Even Shrutakirti and Mandvi, and they were also, kind of living austere lives, even though they lived in the palace. I've just come across this, and I don't know the
I
authenticity.
think it's
of it.
natural, right? When your
Yes.
husband is suffering so much, why will you be enjoying? You will also feel like,
Yeah, but then,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, this thing bothers me a lot. Why only Mother Sita can give that all things to Rama to take her along, and where Urmila and Mandavi can just be quiet? How come? Yeah, even Mandavi can say, I will also stay in Nandagram with you.
why? What's stopping her? Why is she
That I don't know the reason. That I have not come across, honestly. I'm just telling you what I came across, and I'm just revealing it. I don't know
And
the
like-
authenticity either.
And like Hema Gopika has put in the comment, which is 100% correct. According to Valmiki, I'm sorry to break the news for those who find it very weird. Lakshmana really also slept for those 14 years.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh,
Sorry to break the news, ladies and gentlemen, but then Hema Gopika broke it. It's not my
okay.
fault.
She did it personally to you, and you revealed it. we can't see. We can't see her chat message.
No, but Mataji, it was said that a person who hasn't slept for 14 years only could kill Meghnad Indrajit.
I don't know that Mataji, that could be from some other Ramayana. But according to Valmiki, I know this. There is a verse where Rama wakes up Lakshmana.
Okay, you know that better then. Because
No, that is Valmiki, but there could be somebody else who has written that he didn't sleep for 14 years. Yeah. Okay.
we
He
can
says,
ask, we can pile up this question and ask Haridas Varya Prabhu. He would give some nice version from the South Ramayana. So
South Ramayana only. South Ramayana only I'm talking. Valmiki and Kambar. Both of them, they say that, yes,
Okay.
he says, I will protect, I will stay guard morning and night. That is correct.
Mhm.
That is correct. But it is not like he never slept 14 years. That's not possible.
Yeah, but
For the of course, you can say Supreme Lord.
yeah, he is like Shesha, the incarnation of Ananta.
All that we can say, but they're
Yeah.
playing the role of humans.
Yeah.
And they did sleep. Only thing is, he didn't have a good sleep. That's all the commentators.
Yeah,
He didn't
that
sleep
that
well.
that makes
But
more
at
sense.
the same time, there is also Urangavalli. You must have remembered Haridas Varya also mentioning this. There is one disciple of Ramanuja by the name Urangavalli Dasar. Urangavalli means that person who didn't sleep. Why? Why are we saying that? We say that because he didn't sleep well, meaning like his intention was not like, okay, I need 8 hours of rest, I will go and sleep. It's not like that. He was always agitated, he was always worried, he was always waking up for the protection. At the same time, it's not like he never fell asleep or something. He would also fall asleep. It's natural. But then he didn't sleep well for 4 hours. That's the understanding. That's how they commentate this. Okay. So in the south also, yes, Kambar also says he didn't sleep well. Valmiki says he was even woken up one day by Rama. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Amazing class as usual, as always. And thank you so much for your wonderful service. Dandavat.
Thank you. Dandavats, Mataji.
Praladananda Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Pranam Mataji. Thank you very much for excellent classes. Today I was listening to Gopi Geet in the morning, and then this Lord Ramchandra's feet description you have made, and that reminded me of that very famous sloka Gopi Geet says, Yatte suja charanambu ruham stanesu bhita sanehi priya dadimahi karkasesu tena twim atsik tad vyathate kim nasvet kurpadivir brahmati dhir bhavad ayusham. Lord Rama's feet are so soft and so, that Gopi is describing for Lord Krishna's feet like that. They are the same feet, Lord Rama, Lord. But I have heard that Mother Sita's feet were even more komal than.
Yes.
And Janak Maharaj used to spread pollens of flowers where Sita used to play. And she used to play on those pollens only because her feet were so common like that.
Yes.
That kind of versions we have heard from so many Ramayana Kathakas like that. But Ramayana is so rich, it's so rich.
And so many retellings and so many flavors and layers. Yeah, it is very rich.
Thank you very much, Mata.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very good.
Thanks for the beautiful enlightening Katha Mataji. For just taking us to Rama in days and the typical, we are actually living in Ramayan world, Mataji. Mataji, is it Bharat doing Pada Sevanam? Is what Rama is so like they say Ram is chanting on Bharat's name because of he has so much some special, I don't know, Mataji, just I heard it from a friend, so I'm not sure where it comes, so I'm not just little doubtful, is it true, or Ram is chanting Bharat's name?
I don't know, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
I know in one instance, when he is ready to, this is again there in one of the comments, when he is ready to dry the ocean, when the ocean god doesn't appear in front of him when he's before building the bridge, Ramchandra asks Chapamani Saumitri, go and get a nice arrow so that I can dry up the ocean. When he asks like that, Lakshmana is hesitating. He's not bringing the arrow.
Okay.
Then some commentators say, okay, why he's not bringing the arrow? Again, Ramchandra says, bring the arrow. I want to dry up the ocean. But Lakshmana is hesitating and he's thinking, I'm the one who has to be angry. Why is this guy getting angry? And then later, the reason that the hesitation is because Bharata is giving out Argya in Sarayu, and then finally Sarayu is merging in the ocean of the Southern Ocean. Finally, it comes into the Southern Ocean. So something like that, he was reminded of Bharata's austerities and this will trouble Bharata. Let's not dry up the ocean. So like that. That is the time when this connection comes. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm just extrapolating what you're saying. I don't know.
Yes, Mataji, because I was also not sure of the reference. That's why I was little doubtful in asking. Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Let's see if there are. Sorry, I didn't realize it was a direct message. So anyway, yeah. Doing Padasevanam, yes, because Bharata was doing Padasevanam. Okay, that is when I think during that ocean thing, that is when Lakshmana hesitates because Bharata is doing service to the Padukas. It might trouble Bharata is the thought. Something like that. There's some comment on that. Okay. So then if there are no, anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. A very, very wonderful session today. It was very animated, the conversations between everybody. And thank you so much for making it very lively. Also, I love the fact that when Lord Lakshmana was ready to serve, immediately they were like, okay, you have signed up for it. Let's go. Let's take you along. Nobody had any worries or any questions or no long conversations. Everybody was ready to take him along.
As there's a joke that when it's only a joke, it's just a joke. I mean, not to take seriously, but there's a joke when he said, "I will take care of everything. You just enjoy. I will take care of household chores, everything." Sita was like, "Yes, perfect choice. Take him right now." So,
so in all these, I mean, in the 14 years. Can we say that Mother Sita and Rama were the only ones who enjoyed, as a married couple at that time? All the others were living life of austerity and separation.
That's true.
So
everybody was sacrificing.
Everybody, yeah.
They say, right? We talk about In the 14 years, we say Vanvas. Actually, in the 14 years, they were mostly together. Only in the last year, Shurpanaka comes and then she tells Ravan, and then Ravan kidnap. All this happens in the last 1 year. So they were together and they were happy for 13 years, though they were enemies.
Also, does Mother Kausalya, after Dashrath Maharaj passes away and when they get an opportunity to come to the forest, does she again request Lord Rama if she can stay with them, because that was her original direction?
No. What happens after she is old? Dasharath Maharaj, they all come, no? All of them come during Paduka Pattabhishekam. Yeah, but then she's asked to return. She goes back. She's old. He sent her back. Yeah, she desires to come, but he says you have to stay with you. You have a good question. If she has to stay with her husband, now that the husband is not there, she can go to the forest. That's a good point. But then they all ask her to return. The sages, everybody, they all ask her to return, and she returns. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So ultimately, Sita was the one who was 100% successful in going with Ram. And of course, Lakshman. No questions asked. Lakshman as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So if there are no more questions, we can end up. Next Monday again, we'll have the session sharp at 6:30 EST. So thank you, dear devotees. Let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripas, Vaivachakratitanam Bhavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री वाल्मीकि रामायण कथा की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हर ग्रेस प्रीति विलासिनी माता जी की जय,
Jai.
all the assembled Vaishnavas की जय.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay, dear devotees, thank you so much. I'm ending the call.